Hi, I'm Tim Roble, and welcome back to our KTM 950 Supermoto to Super Enduro conversion. Before we get with this motorcycle, it's been about a month since my last video with it, and I wanted to clear up a few questions that people have been asking me on YouTube. One, I have pulled the ExtremeEnduroStore.com off of the internet. Why? Right now I'm focusing my time on auto restoration, and I'm actually getting paid good money to use the English wheel, the shrinker, the stretcher, planish and hammer, and actually make nice panels and weld those in to classic cars. So that's taken a lot of my focus out of the shop and being able to actually design and make skid plates and some of our other products. So that's gone. Right now I'm also doing a little bit of prototyping and product development in the motorcycle industry, and that's like a G13 classified thing. So I may be able to talk about that a little later and can do some videos on that as we get further down the road. So back to this cool motorcycle. I've put about 1,000 to 1,200 miles on this bike. Some of you that are slick can look at this and notice that there's been a few little changes to the motorcycle. One, I have gotten rid of my La Paz 8-inch HID light off of the front. I did this a little premature. My plan originally was to weld in a rally type tab and have the light affixed so it just points straight, takes the weight off the forks. Quick change, what I did is I put on my front headlight off of my KTM 300 XCW and have wired that all in. I have plans for the Baja Design Squadron light, and that'll probably come a little while later. I don't do a ton of night riding, so I'm more interested in lightweight right now. You notice that I have the powercellperformance.com's TTX ohlins 277mm travel kit for this motorcycle installed. Haven't got to ride it yet, but I'm super excited about that. The Mark II rear shock is a twin tube design, no risk of cavitation, and you can ride this thing hard for hours on end and that shock is going to stay alive. So I'm super stoked on that. Some of my theories on building this motorcycle is doing the conversion. I haven't had a whole lot of the correct parts, so it's not hard to get rid of my Supermoto rear shock and upgrade to the ohlins unit. You know, it's that's going to be a world of difference. As of going from the stock SE shock, I feel that was a big limiting factor of being able to go really fast on this motorcycle. So I've got my bar ends set up now, finally where I want them. My lever position is perfect. I'm running the same grips, the Renthal grips that I run on all of my motorcycles. So now everything is set up exactly the same. The foot pegs, I got the Fastway foot pegs, and I machined 250 thousandths off the top, retapped the holes, and put the cleats in. Basically, this puts the peg half inch back and 3/4 low, and that helps my big size on this motorcycle. And now I can really ride this motorcycle very fast and comfortable for 3-4 hours as I work up in my fitness. So that's where we're at here. Some of you may know that when I buy a new motorcycle, I actually take it down to frame and motor and build it up from there the way that I feel it should go together. And in the meantime, if there's extra parts that I feel like don't need to go back on, I look at making a motorcycle lighter, more powerful, more efficient, and probably one of the big things is make the motorcycle easy to work on. So you see I have the Super Enduro tank and seat off of this motorcycle right now, and the radiator and oil tank is missing. So we'll start at the bottom. I'll do a separate video on this. It's my oil tank skid plate conversion. You can see that I have the tabs right here machined off, and the skid plate actually ties into this upper motor mount, which makes it super strong. And then I've made a very nice oil tank / oil cooler setup. And we're going to weld that up with the Everlast 255 EXT welder. So I'll spend some time on that, and you'll get to see kind of the process that I went through on that. I did go ahead and put a baffle system back in it, kind of like the stock was, but it's tighter and cleaner and really a stronger unit than anything else that you could just buy and bolt on. So now that I have a little bit of extra time on my hands to develop my own stuff, I'm really working on trying to do what I'll call like the works motorcycles of like the 80s. I was really intrigued with exotic parts and time and materials that were put into something to develop the motorcycle to be the best it could be as a one-off, not so much a production unit. So it's kind of neat for me to be able to play with that. Some of the new things I have coming up is I did a lot of research on getting rid of this airbox. For the most of the part, why I want to drop this airbox is I want to go to a foam type filter. I want to make this bike more dirt bike-ish, less adventure bike-ish. So that being said, I did my research and there was a couple that were really close out there, but the CPR Fabrications Rottweiler air filter really came into my focus, and I'm super happy that I picked this. Do a separate video on the install on this. I've already started. I kind of got the box loose and I got the check valve installed in the base, and we're kind of set up and ready to go, so watch for that video coming out. Other than that, I worked on the Super Enduro tank. I went back and forth on it. As you can see, I had to weld in new mounts on this motorcycle even to run the Super Enduro tank. I came to a decision process. I kind of wanted to make some things modular so I can go back between the Super Enduro seat and the Supermoto seat and the PowerCell Performance 5.5 gallon fuel tank. Had to make that decision when I bought the air filter because of how it clears. And I went with the Supermoto version versus the Super Enduro version. Felt that it gets a little bit better horsepower and just a little bit more time to cool the air. So that was a choice I made. So I'm going to be selling my Super Enduro tank and seat, and we'll be running the PowerCell Performance tank on this. So watch that, and that also makes things a little easier. Instead of with the Super Enduro having a few different bolts to pull, the new tank only has one bolt in the rear, and I went ahead and bought the quick disconnect fasteners that he makes, petcocks, that he makes for his tanks. So you just push a couple petcocks. I'm going to put a new valve in line, so you'll just push a couple valves and undo some wiring, and everything will come off this motorcycle very quick, easy, and efficient. With the new Rottweiler air filter, I'll be able to get to the carbs a lot quicker and be able to fool with the jetting until I get a real nice setup. So that right now is pretty much what's going on with this motorcycle. Stay tuned for some upcoming videos, and super excited about this and super excited to share it. Thank you for watching. I'm Tim Roble, and I'll catch you here next time.